God, we're doing this? Oh no. Oh, here we are, guys. We're doing this. Ugh. I am not ready. Are you not ready? Good. So we'll suffer together. Ugh. Yeah, we got a really cringe fucking thing to cover today. Apparently, we're gonna get spanked by a daddy. Although I don't know if I can play that video. I hope it's probably gonna try to fucking I don't know, TOS me or something. Both my last two streams got fucking tagged with DMCA shit, so I can't. So those aren't active. All right, let's see what we got. 14 signs your cockatiel is successful. Oh, right. I bought a bird. Let's see. Let me see if I can find that cringe tier video. Tucker. Okay. Here it is. Okay. I just I am so sorry for what we're about to watch, guys. I am so sorry for this, but we gotta be punished. We gotta be punished. You know this. We're the
She lectures you like you did something. Kamala Harris shouldn't have a job. She has no skills. How did we wind up with a system where Kamala Harris, you couldn't change the tire on your truck, much less drive it?
We're having issues, as we always do each and every single stream. Get used to it, folks. Let's see. Expand the media folder. Screen. Why does it always fucking do that shit? No. Alright. Done. Blah, blah, blah. Hello. Are you gonna show my stuff? Wait. Do I have to, like, do that first and then do that? Like, is that what it's making me do against my will? Fuck my life. Anyway, here we go.
How did she wind up at the top of the pyramid? And then once she's there, she lectures you like you did something. It's too much. You can't allow that. It's an offense against the truth, against reality, and against justice itself. And the second reason you can't allow it is very familiar to anyone who has children, which is if you allow it, you will encourage more of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. You see, when it comes to Tucker Carlson, his politics seems to be along the lines of, you know, people are being replaced, and you know, like if my daughter gets out and you know, is sexually assaulted, well, she can't. Well, maybe she can get an abortion. I don't know. I'm dad. But what she really needs, she needs to be spanked. Yeah, that's literally. This is literally the. Yeah. Okay. No spoilers now. Why am I even saying that? I'm spoiling the. Let's keep going with this.
You allow people to get away with things that are completely over the top and outrageous. If you allow your 2-year-old to smear the contents of his diapers on the wall of your living room, and you do nothing about it, if you allow your...
Who the fuck is letting their 2-year-old smear their fucking... Okay, oh my god. No, oh, god. Honestly, like, I don't know how this guy even... I can't, guys. I can't.
14-year-old to light a joint at the breakfast table.
Based.
If you allow your hormone-addled 15-year-old daughter to, like, slam the door of her bedroom and give you the finger, you're going to get more of it. And those kids are going to wind up in rehab.
And so you need to spank them. Oh, wait. Shit. Spoilers. Sorry.
It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. No. There has to be a point at which dad comes home.
I fucking love it. I love it. Oh my god, Tucker, dude. My boy. Is this how you view all of America? Like we're your kids that need to be spanked? Oh, once again, there we go with the spoiler.
Yeah, that's right. Dad comes home. And he's pissed. Dad is pissed.
Ooh, and what is Daddy
He's
gonna
not
do to
vengeful.
me?
He loves his children. Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children. They live in his house.
Is Daddy really so pissed off that he's gonna do something? Like, what is Daddy gonna do to me, Daddy?
But he's very disappointed in their behavior. And he's going to have to let them know.
Oh, yes, tell me more.
Get to your room right now.
Yes.
And think about what you did.
Yes, Daddy. I will. I've been a bad girl.
You know what he says? You've been a bad girl.
Yes, see? Yes, that is true. I have been a bad girl. Yes. And what is Daddy going to do about me being a bad girl, Daddy Tucky?
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Oh, yes. So okay, so fucking so here we go. Tucker Carlson is getting all like, isn't this the same guy that fucking did something creepy as shit about his fucking 14-year-old daughter? Like you a scenario about you got these girls, they come up to your daughter, hey, we're gonna do this, that, and the other, and I guess it was something like not PG-13 or something, and daughter says, yeah, let's do it, and then Tucker is like, well, if she wasn't my kid, I would love that scenario. Like like I don't even want to get like I don't even know if I want to find that clip, but that's literally the kind of shit that Tucker. I don't know. Do I want to find the clip? No. Yes, I'm gonna find the clip because I had to suffer watching it on Xander Hall's channel. You have to suffer watching it here. Or wait, was it Xander Hall or was it Riverboat? I don't know. I watch so many freaking content streamers. Let's see. Tucker Carlson. I don't even know what to look for or what to type it as. Like, I don't want to say pedophilic remark. What was it? I don't know. Gets weird about his daughter? No. No, I don't even want to. I don't know if I want to find that clip. Like it's so creepy. Like it's so weird. Like I don't even know where to find it. Tucker Carlson. Wait. If it weren't my daughter, I'd love that. No. Scenario. God damn it. Why do all the other content creators find this shit? Do I really suck at looking for shit online? Like, phone. I don't even. Was it a phone interview? I don't remember. I'm not gonna spend all the stream on it. No, it keeps coming back to this shit about Tucker using whatever. I can't find it.
And no, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this. You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
Oh my God.
And it has to be this way. It has to be this way because it's true. And you're only going to get better when you take responsibility for what you did. That's not said in the spirit
People
of
are
hate.
cheering this.
It's
You
not
hear
said in the
that?
spirit of...
You hear that? Like, people are cheering that. You know what I think it is? I think it's old ass boomer millennial or boomer women. Like, I said boomer millennial, but no. Boomer. Like, where it's like they have like this fetish where their literal dad, they have such severe daddy issues that they have a fetish where it's like their father just whoops their ass because that's what they like, and so therefore when Tucker Carlson just like reflects that fetish back onto them, so it's like, it's to them it's not weird. Obviously to the rest of us, because we're actually like in reality and we don't like incest and things like that, and so we would say something along the lines of yeah, dude, you're fucking creepy and you're fucking weird, and maybe you should not be getting off, or so it seems you are, on the thought of, you've been a bad girl and I'm gonna have to give you a spanking, because I'm more likely to mock you by saying something along the lines of, oh yes, daddy, spank me harder. Because let's face it, it's clown shit. Like, you're not anything to take seriously. The only reason you're being taken seriously is because you're such a threat to this fucking country. Because you are trying to bring in you're basically campaigning on behalf of a fascist and equating him to your sick fetish of essentially sexually spanking your child. Yes, like, yeah, I added that word there because that's what I think you're fucking doing. You are so goddamn creepy. It's not even me saying it. It's your tone when you're talking about daddy's home and it's for the best and it has to be this way because you've been a bad girl and so I need to spank you. It's like, dude, you are getting all, like, you're not even at this point. If that's your attitude towards spanking, it's not discipline for you, bruh. You're getting off on it. You're creepy. You're a pedophile. And while you're saying all this shit, you decide you're gonna shout squirrel at the left and say that it's actually us because we believe that it's okay for transgender children to fucking exist. Like, you're clown shit. You're a fucking clown. And honestly, when the trans supreme gay matriarchy takes over, you're getting deported to Coconut Island, where you have to suck dick to survive, or maybe just maybe spend 7 hours catching a half a bite of a fish. That's where you're going, Fash, Mr. Fashy.
Vengeance or bigotry? Far from it. It's said in the spirit of justice.
Justice,
which is the
everybody.
purest and best thing there is.
Would that be social justice? Okay. I'll see myself out.
And without it, things fall apart. The Democratic Party machine, and notice I'm not beating up on Kamala Harris, who's just a hapless victim who happened to be there in the right color, so they grabbed her. Tim Walz, they needed some, whatever Tim Walz is. They needed a weak man.
What a fucking clown. Like, you're mad. Like, aren't you supposed to be the business, you're all small business, the family, the working class and everything. Isn't that what you're supposed to be in favor of? Like, aren't you supposed to be like the populace, albeit the right-wing, misinformed populace, but, and yet you have someone on the left who actually gives a fuck about the working class and wants to strengthen unions and wants to raise wages and everything like that. And you're going to look to someone like that and think, oh, whatever the fuck that is. Like, and you wonder why people call you grifters. Because you don't believe the shit you say. You're not in favor of unions. You're not in favor of strong worker protections. You're not in favor of helping smaller businesses, like your standard mom and pop shop on the corner of Main Street serving fucking, I don't know, quesadillas and coffee every morning. You're not in favor of giving them a fucking break. You want to make things more miserable for them. That's what you want. And so like it just fits. It just it makes a lot of sense why you would make fun of Tim Walz with how he with his history, you know.
Because it is the party of weak men and unhappy women.
Well, weak men, I don't know. I like to think that the weak men are those that can't get laid, so they have to go through the legislation to force half the population into subservience. I think those are the weak men, and we see an awful lot of that on the right. Sorry, bro. As far as angry women, well, to be fair, if you had a uterus and you got raped and you got pregnant from the rape and you were not allowed to get it aborted and it turned into an endopic pregnancy that became incredibly life threatening and you you'd probably be pretty angry too. You know what I mean? So I think the solution is probably try to understand your inferiority to the left and maybe bow down in subservience to the left and own up to the fact that you are literally on your way out, if not this election cycle or the next election cycle, then sooner rather than later, because like the more people realize what you were about, the less people want to fucking vote for you. You see it a lot of it's just nobody wants to go back to a time where gay people and trans people don't have rights. Nobody wants to go back to a time where marital rape is actually allowed and encouraged. Nobody wants to go back to that time, and you're trying to bring us there against our will. And you want to frame that as, "Oh, daddy, you need a I'm gonna spank you, little girl, because you've been a bad girl." Like, fuck you.
One of which leads to the other, by the way. Where you find weak men, you will inevitably find unhappy women. Sorry. And they make them on purpose. They weaken the men to drive the women insane to have the most consistent voting bloc ever in the history of politics.
Honestly, the way I see it, like, that's not really what it is. What it really is just people being sick to death of your Republican bullshit. I mean, you put wage cuts on a referendum, voters are gonna tear that down. You put abortion on the referendum, voters are gonna make absolutely sure that shit passes. It's really because people are rightfully selfish when it comes to their own lives. They are invested in their own self-interest. And when they find that a political system is, infringing on their lives, that is honestly how you get a lot of single issue voters. They want their lives to not be impacted by political dipshits like you that want to control them when they don't even know you or care about you or want anything to fucking do with you. And so, that's where the consistent voting block is coming from, because you guys just don't want to stop with the bullshit. You don't want to stop with the anti-abortion shit. You don't want to stop with the anti-LGBT shit. You don't want to stop it with the anti-economic shit or anti-poor shit. You just want to keep destroying this country and roll back every single protection that we've fought so fucking hard for. So if we're a very consistent voting block, you have yourself to blame. You're scum of the earth. You're clowns. You're clown shit. I don't understand why you think that your political opinion is so fucking valid. The only reason your opinion actually matters right now is because it's such a loud fucking half of the country that won't shut the fuck up. We would love for you to shut the fuck up. And we would love to maybe have a little bit more political freedom where we don't feel like we're forced into one party because that single party has our best interest and, is the only one that's not doing as much damage as you are. And they're still doing a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but they're definitely not trying to infringe upon our reproductive or, our sexual freedoms, our gender freedoms, anything like that. Like, just grow up. Your biocontrol shit's in the past. You're scum. You're less than. Like, just go away. Nobody wants your politics.
Unhappy women made unhappy by weak men. But it could be anybody. It could be anybody. Kamala Harris is just a stand-in. She's a cardboard cutout.
Kind of like Fasci Trump, he's kind of a sit-in, he's kind of a cardboard cutout. After all, we all know this, fascism is on the rise globally, and you tear down one fascist, and that fascist happens to die because they're not, happens to die never being elected again because, like, thankfully our elections are every 4 years, and this asshole was in his 80s or something, so he didn't make it to the 2028 election. But God forbid, you know, some other person takes his place, like JD Vance is his successor, Ron DeSantis his successor, Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, even though he's not a governor, he's an attorney general, but goddamn, you see the kind of shit he's doing in Texas. We attorney general or governor or no governor, we don't want that fucker in office either. So may he never run. But still, like, if you want to start winning everybody's votes again and you want to have a more reliable victory and you don't want affirmative action for conservatives that you call the electoral college, then maybe stop attacking the rights of minority groups, the rights of gender and sexual minorities and racial minorities. Maybe stop trying to attack the rights of half the population. There's a thought right there. It's just some friendly advice, Tucky boy. If you don't like your little bitty penis being laughed at, because of the fact that nobody wants to vote for your tiny dick politics, then maybe you should step off your podium and stop stop making up bullshit stories like they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the pets of the people who live there. That almost sounded like Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump had sex and gave birth to a fucking. I am so sorry, Bernie. I did not mean to do an impression that sounded like an offspring between you and that thing that's running against Kamala. Sorry about that. Okay. I think we've had enough of this brain rot. So let's see. What else can we look at? Oh yeah. Let's look at some doomer shit because I need to scare you guys into voting. Because that's what we're about on this show. Got to scare you into voting because if I don't scare you into voting, you're just gonna get very comfortable and you're just gonna sit on your ass on election day. I'm not gonna vote. I'm gonna play my Xbox. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. U.S. election swing state polling suggests Trump victory. Harris, if Pennsylvania ends up turning blue, I'm assuming that's what they're saying, then that's 226 electoral votes. Okay. Trump +1, so there you go. Michigan. Electoral college votes, 15. Voting history. Current polling, tied. Wisconsin. Population, 5.8 million. Voting history, current polling, tied. Nada. Nevada. Population, 3.1 million. Electoral college votes, 6. Current polling, Trump +1. Look at that. Arizona, population 7.15 million. Electoral college votes 11. Current polling, Trump +2. Getting scared yet? Georgia, population 10.71. Electoral college votes 16. Voting history, current polling, Trump +2. Y'all scared yet? Because it looks like Trump already wins. North Carry, key, Trump +1. Da. Trump at 287. The only thing we don't know about yet is, of course, Michigan. And what was the other one? Is Michigan and what's this state? This here state was like right underneath Wisconsin. Right. So yeah, Wisconsin and Michigan are both tied for Harris and Trump. Whichever one those end up going to is going to be the determining factor. But unfortunately, guys, as it shows here, we don't need to know those two states to already see that Trump is projected to make a 287 point landslide victory. It doesn't have to be that way. All you need to do is get off your ass and either A, submit your early ballots, or B, get the fuck out there to that polling station. Because if you're not scared of this, then nothing is going to scare you. So, like, I've heard bad things, terrible things about Trump. He wants to take away everybody's rights. It's an insurrection, folks. Let's see let's do some news. Oh, you want to see something else that was scary? My mom showed me this video the other day. I don't know if I can find it on YouTube. Fishing trip in Ukraine. I think it's this one. This is horrifying. This is fun to watch. Ukrainian fishing. Da da da. Catch a fish. Oh, shit. What the fuck was that a person? I think that was the person. Oh dear. This wasn't the video that my mom showed me. Oh. That was, oh my god, that was not the video my mom showed me. Oh. I don't know if I want to look for that other one now. That was horrifying enough. I'll just describe it, but basically it was somebody somebody was fishing and they looked up in the sky and there was a plane flying and then you heard the buzzing of the propeller and then all of a sudden you saw an explosion and then the plane just was no more. That's the video I was trying to show you. And I think we just watched a video of a plane just be completely shot down without actually seeing the plane being blown up. And that person and that last thing in the background I think was a person. Although it could have been part of the plane, I don't know. But I am not going back to that video to find out. That was that was not the video I was looking for. Oh my god. So, well, that was a really dark segue into this because that was the real reason I brought up the that video was because I saw this, wanted to try to read through it, but oh, my hair is standing up on the back of my neck. I think I'm going to take a quick break. That really just shook me. Like no, seriously, I am like on the verge of tears right fucking now. I need to take a break. I'll be right back, guys. back. What's up, guys? I has returned. If, if. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully, it's not the end of the world now. Ukrainian intelligence recently released intercepted communications revealing that Russian soldiers expressed concerns and frustrations about the arrival of North Korean troops codenamed Battalion K in the Kursk region of Russia. What are we to do with them? The recordings obtained from encrypted Russian channels on October 23rd were shared with CNN by Ukraine's military intelligence, according to Digi24. So it looks like, right off the bat, the Russians do not really, allegedly, they're not quite sure about the importation of Koreans, into but probably not for the same reason that like someone like me would be concerned, which is, like, hey, this is human life. We should not be sending human life out in droves to be dying in political conflicts, in, like that, like standard humanitarian bullshit. They're probably there because it's like, they're probably complaining because it's like, oh, but they don't speak Russian. And so if they don't speak Russian, then how can we communicate? I'm doing somewhere between Russian and Italian. I got to work on my impressions. He was just standing there like, what the hell do we do with them? One soldier is heard saying. Well, that's funny. That's they might communicate once again, Russian plus Italian. They might communicate with Kim Jong-un about our secrets here in Mother Russia. Okay, I don't. I need to just stop. It's cringe. The intelligence suggests that the North Korean troops reportedly trained in Russia's Far East arrived in the Kursk region, where Ukraine launched a surprise incursion in early August. According to the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence Service, North Korean troops were scheduled to be deployed around October 27th to 28th, with 3 senior officers and a translator assigned to manage each group of 30 soldiers. Russian soldiers in the... So, hang on a minute. What was that again? According to the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence Service, North Korean troops were scheduled with 3 senior officers and a okay. So basically, that's how they're... That seems really inefficient. Like, you have, like, in wartime, you don't have time for a translator, but it's like, at the same time, who fucking cares? There shouldn't be any fucking wartime to begin with. Like, controversial opinion, government should not exist. What do you want, Felix? Why are you interrupting my show? You gonna come say hi or what? You gonna come harass me live on stream? Come here, bud. Come say hi. Come here, bud. Climb up on my lap. Say hi to the chat. Come on. Well, they don't call cats pussy for nothing. Come here, bud. Ugh. Come here. Come here, fatty. Oh, sorry, you are not Kim Jong-un. I should not have called you fatty. I am so sorry. You are not Kim Jong-un. This, right here, is a cat. You might have heard of a cat. And that is what this is. It's a cat. And his name is Felix. And he is definitely an attention whore. Not a single day goes by he does not scream at me for food, which is understandable, and scream at me for attention. And lately, I think that's gotten way worse because I also adopted a bird. I bought a bird, parakeet named Snowball. Uses she/her pronouns, and I haven't even sexed the bird properly, but I don't really give a fuck about that. That'll become important to me if I ever decide I want to breed my baby bird. Like if I ever, and, or if I want to bring home a second parakeet, which it looks like I might have to, because parakeets do better in pairs, and thankfully the cage she came home in is big enough for 2 parakeets, so I'm going for a second burb. Yes, I call her burbs. I call them burbs because burbs are so feathery and so cute. It's like burbs are like a little tiny bird, and that's exactly what my parakeet is. It's a little burby. It's a little burb. And me and my brother, and he kind of revealed himself. Yes, I see you, brother. I know you're in the chat, and I know you're just stalking the stream, refusing to interact. But I know you're in there. Yes, him and I, we came up with this joke about burbs. It's an urban legend called the Burbs of Suburbia, and it's essentially the the urban burbs go to the suburbs to dominate the subby burbs, and it is that we call the Burbs of Suburbia. Oh my God, what did he say? What did you say? Wait, I don't see it in the chat. Where is it? Damn it. It says all. Oh, come on. Don't tell me my fucking connection's fucked up. I don't see it in multi-stream. Ugh, Streamlabs, I hate you. What did they are called parakeets, pair of keats. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. Pair of keats. The fuck is a keat anyway? Let's see. um Ukraine needs F-16s now, but this rugged jet made for the Russia threat could be the better choice for its future fighter fleet. Let's see. Oh, there you are. Oh, I see what it is. It's because I wasn't in multi-stream tab. God, because you're appearing like right now. Like I see you right there. You're right there. All right, everybody, go watch his shit. He's a VTuber. He does shit on his shit. So go watch his shit. All right, let's see. Ukraine's navy is harassing Russian forces with 16 new armored assault boats built by Sweden. Um, Ukraine's navy has acquired at least 16 Swedish-made patrol boats this year to counter Russia. The CB-90 assault craft can deploy on various missions such as troop delivery and mine reconnaissance. They're also configurable, able to act as an armored radar or floating command center as needed. Ukraine's navy added 3 Swedish-made patrol boats to its fleet earlier this month as it continues to hammer Russian naval forces in the Black Sea. The recent CB-90 delivery came after Sweden announced its massive $682 million military aid package to Ukraine in February, which included 10 CB-90 vessels and 20 other riverine boats. The Netherlands similarly provided 3 more CB-90s to Ukraine a month later for a total of at least 16. So basically, this is. Do we know? Did it say who's sending? Oh, this is coming from Sweden. Okay. Oh, and the Netherlands. Okay. So even if the U.S. decides to backstab Ukraine and stop providing aid, it's good that they have other sources. Just sad that the U.S. is probably their strongest aid. Like I don't know how much aid the other countries are giving them, but Ukraine needs its F-16s, but it should get Gripen jets to help fight Russia in the long term, experts say. They're rugged, flexible, and designed with a Russia fight in mind. One air warfare expert said Sweden's Gripens were designed for this fight much better than F-16s. Ukraine has US-made F-16s and a promise of French Mirages capable weapons that it needs now, but Sweden's Gripen, a jet made for the Russian threat, is an ideal choice for the country's future fighter fleet. You see, the mere fact that Sweden made a literal jet designed to fight Russia just shows how much of a threat that the Kremlin and the Russian government overall, like has been to the countries around it. Like, I think Putin should like retreat from public life for a few years and just like go live on an island somewhere and just really reflect in on himself and just ask himself just one simple question. Am I the bad guy here? Because everybody's like trying to form, everybody's scared of me, a madman with unchecked power. And they're making things built specifically for my country. But knowing this delusional fuckwit, he's probably going to say something along the lines of, "No, we're just they just hate the Russian Empire and they want to they just hate Mother Russia and they don't want us to bring back the tanky style USSR again where we conquer the Ukrainians and everything." And it's like, dude, just you're not cool. You're not cool. Your country's history is barbaric. We're talking like literal Tsarists, Ivan the Terrible, like like don't like you see the problem here with you trying to spread, like, I don't think your enemies who just want to live their lives, your quote unquote enemies, who just want to live their lives, want to actually like I don't think they want to be impaled like your famous Tsar, Vlad the Impaler. You okay, bro? You okay, bro? Hmm? Where did you get into mommy's crack? He got into my crack. Just kidding, I don't have crack. But he's definitely got the zoomies. Let's see. Yeah, Vlad the Impaler. He was Russian, right? Vlad the Impaler. Um, Vlad Dracula. Oh, he was Romanian. But wasn't Romania part of Russia? Like the Russian Empire throughout history? He was a Tsar, right? I mean, I know I'm going hundreds of years back into Russian history, but Ivan the Terrible, near Moscow, died March 18th, was the Grand Prince of Moscow. So yeah, he was a Russian Tsar and the first to be proclaimed Tsar of Russia. So he was the first Tsar? Shit. Yeah, so homeboy, you trying to bring back the old school czarist Russian empire? Like, this is what you're supporting, dude, and you're psychotic. Like, just I don't think so okay, so this was Ivan the Terrible, not Vlad the Impaler. What the fuck? But didn't I? Wait, is Vlad the Impaler literally Ivan the Terrible? Why is it that when I look up Vlad the Impaler, Ivan the Terrible comes up? Vlad the Inhaler? Oh my god. Imagine a medication for asthmatics and it's Vlad the Impaler, but he's shaped like an inhaler. That would be horrifying. Vlad the Impaler versus Ivan the Terrible. Like, aren't they literally two different people? So why is it that when I look up Vlad the Impaler, why does Ivan the Terrible come up? Yeah, so Vlad the Impaler. Okay. Yeah, I see Vlad the. Okay. But either way, he was apparently a czar, and this is what the deranged lunatic running Moscow wants to do to the rest of the former USSR and bring back fucking czarist Russia. It's like, dude, take a chill pill, go get laid. You know, it's not too late. I'm sure there's plenty of cobwebs out there that. Okay, now we're getting into okay. Um, but anyway, like, just fuck off, dude. Nobody wants you. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares about you. Everybody hates you, and you're a okay now. All right. Let's see. God damn it. If you don't want to pay taxes on Social Security, oh fuck off. Trying to find something. Albany Academy sued accused of wrongful termination and equal rights violation. Oh shit, I've driven past this school. Or not driven, but taken a bus past this school a few times. I know where this is. The former athletics director at the Albany Academies is suing the school. Dr. Angela Marathakis says she was fired because she was an openly gay woman who fought for equality in girls' sports at the school. A suit filed Tuesday outlines Marathakis' efforts that were met with pushback from the school. Says she was questioned an apparent lack of equal funding for girls' programs, but was discouraged from discussing it. If the academies were to receive federal funding, it would be subjected to Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. The law protects from discrimination based on sex in education programs or activities where federal assistance is provided. So, once again, people, this is happening in New York State. We have some great equal protection laws, so this is definitely not going to be tolerated. The suit also outlines instances of harassment from male colleagues and even an administrator. Indeed, while Miss Martha Keys was employed, the academies routinely tolerated and acquiesced to unprofessional and unacceptable behavior from her male colleagues, who would frequently scream or yell at other employees, make sexual comments or jokes, or have significant friction with parents, staff, or faculty. Despite the Academy's knowledge of such behavior by Miss Marathaki's male colleagues, it would typically do nothing to acknowledge, respond to, or correct such behavior. So, yeah, this is what we're dealing with locally, folks. Oh God, ew. I need to. Is that thing still on? Okay. All right. Let's see. An example provided in the lawsuit. Um, the middle school principal yelling at female employees and making sexual jokes. That's disgusting. The suit claims Academy's leadership as aware but tolerated and perpetuated the culture. When asked for comment, an Albany Academy spokesperson told CBS 6, "We have always been committed to creating a fair and equitable work environment for all our employees, but since it is our long-standing policy to keep all personnel-related matters confidential, we will not comment on this matter." You see, this is some coward shit. Like, you are refusing to comment on something that makes you guys look bad. Don't you think if you got nothing to hide, like this is what you always say to us. Why, like students should not, should always like like some places like you'll literally like some schools you'll literally walk through a fucking metal detector. Well, if you've got nothing to hide, then you should have no problem allowing your belongings to be searched. Isn't that what you guys would say to us? Like, oh, you like most students are not going to go mad and shoot up a place, but maybe we should punish all the students, like and now you're refusing to be like, oh, we're not going to comment on the matter. It's come on. I agree with you on the metal detector shit. Like we do need to make sure that kids do not bring in like guns and stuff. Like at least for now, until the gun violence epidemic kind of dies away. Like let's have the metal detectors and everything. But you know what needs to happen probably for the long term until it fucking stops, is you guys being forced against your will, hung by your dick upside down, to fucking talk about the toxic culture perpetuated between the four walls of your fucking school. Like, what exactly is going on in there? And no, you are not allowed to not comment on it, because otherwise you will be tortured, you will be waterboarded, and you will be sent off to Guantanamo Bay, where you will, capture skunks? I don't know. Skunks will come and spray you in your cell. Like that's what's gonna happen. There you go. That is definitely what's gonna happen. You're gonna be shipped off to Guantanamo Bay, and they're just gonna let skunks inside. They're gonna if there's no skunks in Cuba, then they're just going to fucking they're gonna transport them from the United States, from the northeastern United States, and bring them to Guantanamo Bay and insert them into your cell personally. Your cell. Your cell. Anyway, if you do not speak up about the toxicity located in the four walls of your thing, you know, Guantanamo Bay smelling like skunk your entire life, or talk, your pick. Yes, there are lots of skunks in the gay matriarchy. In fact, they're kind of our secret lobbying groups. So, we you either bow to us or we release the skunks and you will have to bathe in tomato juice in order to not realize that you got pwned by the gay matriarchy. When asked for comment in Albany, oh, we already read that part. The school has a page on its website dedicated to diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is good, which is based. Me loves some DEI. Marathakis says she was fired March 19th, 2024, unrelated to her termination. The school announced a month before that it would make serious structural changes that included cutting single-sex elementary classes and laying off roughly 20 staff members. Now, come on. First of all, based in cutting the single sex elementary classes, I do not believe in gender segregated spaces. I do not believe in it at all. It is just a way to attack trans people and force us into a box. Um, and in a world where everybody, man, woman, and everything in between, has to basically use the same facilities, we're all required to play nice with each other. Which, of course, the whole country hates. They don't want to play nice with trans people, so they have a vested interest in maintaining gender segregated spaces. But obviously, trans people will never have full equality until we abolish single sex, spaces like that. Because in that case, like if you're if you have no claim to a space, then let's face it, you can't be mean to trans people. You can't molest trans people and claim that we're the predators. That would not work. Which is really funny. A trans woman walks into a women's bathroom because she's trying to take a piss. And then the cis women are claiming while they're touching her junk, this person's molesting me. Like, it's so stupid. Like, you can't sexually assault a trans person, claim you're the fucking victim of a crime. Like, the only reason you're a victim of a crime, the only victim crime you're a victim of is being in the same space as a trans person. Like in the same context, the only crime of that white women suffer as being in the same, that white women are a victim of as being in the vicinity of a black woman. Like, it's literally the same thing. You're not a fucking victim. It's not a fucking crime. And just because the law says something does not make it true. Remember, the law says that you should be executed in certain areas of the country if you're gay. That doesn't mean that being gay is a fucking crime. It does not mean that you're a fucking criminal if you're an LGBT person in Uganda or Saudi fucking Arabia. You're not a fucking criminal. And just because the law says you are doesn't make it so. Laws can be written and enacted by collective delusion, you know, regardless of where that collective delusion happens to be. The school announced a month before that it would make serious control, so yeah. But in terms of laying off 20 staff members, this is the thing I have a problem with. So you want to cut single sex elementary classes based. I'm all for that. And if Marathakis is fighting against that, then I think she's wrong on this. But this right here, laying off roughly 20 staff members, I want you to remember that, like, try to fill a room with 20 people, a room roughly the size of my living room. There would be no space to walk. Everybody would be fucking shoulder to shoulder. And that's how many people's lives have been ruined. Because they want to cut costs. Remember, schools are corporations too. Hospitals are corporations. Schools are corporations. They're all ran by capital owners, the bourgeois class, the people who own shares in the companies. These are the people who own the schools and are actually, making sure that, like, this kind of shit continues to happen. 20 staff members had their lives ruined because some dipshits with a lot of money at the top, like, I'll be honest, I do invest. I am a shareholder in the company I work for. But this kind of shit can only be pulled off by someone with millions of dollars in capital who has a big stake in the company. And that is just not power someone like me has. And it's like, and if you buy a stake in your company, like if you work for Walmart and you buy a stake there, or if you work for Amazon and you participate in their stock purchase plan, or I don't know if any of the banks around here or in your location have a stock purchase plan, but like if you receive stock from the company you work for, you're not capable of causing this to be affected. You don't even have enough votes to be able to vote the management out. So if you're participating in the worker ownership, of your company, and you're attending your shareholder meetings as a worker, and you're holding shares so that you can actually vote in those shareholder meetings and not just attend, your votes basically mean nothing, because the people who are able to, you might have like 125 votes, which if that's in Walmart, that's like a $12,000 position. You might have that many votes, but but the people who are capable of doing shit like this, the actual real bourgeois class, so we're not talking fucking petite bourgeois, where you own a stake in the company that you work for, but you're still working full-time because you can't survive by yourself off of your own investments. Like, the people who are doing this have millions of votes. Millions. Positions worth hundreds of millions, sometimes even billions of dollars. Now this is a local school located up in down, sorry, because I'm to the northwest of Albany, but this is a local school in just to our southeast in Albany, New York, like I said. But basically, this school, I don't know if it's in a portfolio of other schools, but whoever owns this school probably, they probably have some pretty strong stakes in it. You got to remember, these are private organizations. These are bound to their shareholders, and not even all shareholders. They're mostly bound to the wealthy ones with all the fucking votes. And in a situation like this would not be a publicly traded company. So retail investors, the people who, like, your standard mom and pop stockholder who just has like a small portfolio relatively, I emphasis on relatively because $40,000 is not a small amount of money. They have no control over these, and they would not be able to buy into something like this in order to try to, like, if they worked there, they would not be able to buy shares into it because it's a private equity kind of thing. They would not be able to sell their shit. Like, they would have no way to make any positive changes and prevent shit like this from happening. This is all the wealthy. Oh, someone just followed me. Stalin did nothing wrong. Oh, thank you for following. Welcome to the show. On this show, we talk about commie shit, and here we're discussing, in this particular thing, something low where, like, I guess they made a cut to, here we are, single sex elementary classes and laying off roughly 20 staff members. I basically mentioned how we have like you know desegregated elementary classes like all over the country, and they seem to be doing fine. And so, like, this I'm okay with, but this I'm not. And then I was going into the equity owners behind it, and how even if you have a small stake in the company you work for, still doesn't change the fact that the only people who are capable of affecting this are the top bourgeois, like the people actually with like $1 million um, pro segregation. I don't know if they're pro segregate. I don't think so. But basically, um, the Albany school, Albany Academies, which I've drove by this school a couple times, um, is accused of wrongful termination and equal rights violations. Because she was an openly gay woman who fought for equality in girls' sports at the school. Um, I guess they weren't receiving an adequate level of funding, and she was discouraged from discussing it. So, and of course, I don't remember if this is New York State legislature or if this is the U.S. legislature, but Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 protects against discrimination on the basis of sex in education programs and activities where federal assistance is provided. So this could be a federal amendment. I don't know. But essentially, that's what we were discussing here. And I think cutting this is kind of based. I don't think we really need single sex spaces in education anymore. Like, we do pretty fine without that. But in terms of cutting roughly 20 staff members, like I was just talking earlier about how 20 staff members, that's enough people to fill up my living room, and that's how many people's lives were ruined because of a bunch of elite fucking douchebags who own this school, which is probably a single school in an entire portfolio of educational facilities owned by a very small group of rich assholes in the state of New York. And mind you, the state of New York also includes people like Trump. Oh, let's see what. Let's see if we can find some. Let's see. Eh, it's I personally have my beliefs on it. I personally think that when kids are like let's say you have a transgender kid and they transition early at an at an earlier age. Like for example, when I was in my mid-teens, I was already showing a lot of signs that I was not cis. If I had transitioned, if I had gone on puberty blockers and I had actually transitioned in my teenage years, I would basically be no different in terms of advantage of with against cis women. So there's like yeah. So in terms of sex, I think it really just depends. Like if you want to have like a later thing where transgender women or non-binary assigned male at birth folks submit to a test where it's like if they have a certain level of testosterone, like let's say they didn't transition at an earlier age and their testosterone levels are sufficiently suppressed. Like I'll be completely honest, I do have all this extra weight, all this extra muscle mass, but it just weighs me the fuck down. I can't even get my job done. I can't even like I look strong because my arms are big, but it's like I can't even do freight. I'm an overnight stalker at Walmart making 17.11 an hour, and I can't do that shit. It is too much heavy lifting. I can't even pick up a pallet. I feel like if I tried to compete in women's sports, I would get my ass kicked. Not gonna lie. So I think it's a major gray area. Um, but in terms of like classes, like for example, everybody's learning mathematics and like science and things like that. It's like we don't need sex segregated classrooms for that. Like it there I don't see a reason for that personally. Like that just seems a little 1950s 1930s where it's like women are just getting out of the house and we're not fully comfortable integrating them into society. It's like I thought we were past this like decades ago. But no, I still see sex segregated. Like for example, when I was working and they definitely I think they were definitely middle like not middle school, maybe middle school, maybe elementary school. But when I was working as a janitor at Alfred E. Smith State Office Building, every time I would get out of work, it was like 3 o'clock, and it was right around when school was leaving. And every single day, I like I would drive by the school, and the kids were just getting out, and the boys all had suits, and this was every single time. The boys had suits, the girls had dresses, and it's like this was clearly a dress code, and it's like, oh my god, this is so 1930s. Like the 1930s called, they want their dress code back. Like holy shit. Let's see if I can find some more politic stuff. Even better if it's pro commie shit. Like I love commie stuff. I love socialism. I love let's see. Um da da da. Oh, Our Changing Climate. They're a really good content creator. I fucking love these guys. Um I think they're in favor of tearing down capitalism because of the fact that like the effect that it's having on our climate. So let's
His
so
voters
this is
won't have
perfect. This is perfect for the pro commie shit. Like let's go ahead and listen to some
As the
climate
2024 United
stuff.
States presidential campaign
Wait,
dives into
right?
its last full week, a
Yeah, this
direct threat
does touch
lies on
on
the
climate
horizon.
change, I think.
That of an unfettered Trump presidency prepared for 4 years of implementing far-right doctrine. But fear-mongering about a potential Trump administration is nothing new, especially as Trump boasts that in 4 years his voters won't have to vote again, and he continues to champion a racist, anti-immigrant, far-right agenda. What many brush over, however, is the new inflection point in the climate crisis that Trump
I think it really depends on the dress code. Like for example, if it's just a standard um Like, for example, I'm perfectly fine with dress code. Like, for example, if I'm going to work, I don't want to see my coworkers' asses. So, like, I'm perfectly fine with there being a reasonable expectation of how you should dress. Like, for example, in a school setting or at a work setting. But if it's separated based off of gender lines, or it's like if it's gender lines, if it's religious lines, if it's racial lines, like like I don't feel right about having any sort of dress code based solely on someone's demographic. I think it should be more fair, like, whatever's okay for boys, whatever's okay for men is perfectly fine for women, perfectly fine for girls. Like, for example, this is one thing that really pissed me off, from one of my coworkers. In fact, like, there have been a couple times I went to work and I didn't. I like, even though I'm trans, so but I don't think I pass very well. But I don't know. Maybe my coworkers are just thinking they're being a good ally, subjecting me to this. Like, nobody complains that men are not wearing bras, but if I don't have any clean bra and I have to go to work without one, um, someone says something about it, and it makes it really awkward and really uncomfortable. And it's clearly a double standard. It's not even, to my knowledge, it's not even Walmart dress code. Like, Walmart has a pretty equitable dress code that I actually like. In fact, their dress code is one of the most lax I've ever heard. It's one of the reasons why, as much as I hate working there, I don't know if I'm. Um, oh, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But basically, essentially, what I feel is like, what was I saying? Shit. Let me go back because I have my stream playing on my phone. What was I talking about? Something about the dress code. I lose my train of thought so easily. It's nobody's fault but mine. Wait, no, that's back in the break. Essentially, but basically, I don't know if I'm, God damn it. Oh, I don't know about that one. But basically, shit. Okay, I found it. Now I gotta go back a little further. To my knowledge, it's not even Walmart dress code. Oh, right, Walmart dress code. Um. Oh yeah. Bullying increases suicide rates. Yeah, I do unfortunately agree with that, but I don't think. See, I guess I do kind of see the idea of, like, I can concede that maybe a single uniform, maybe for people who go to school, um but I'm not sure if I, at the end of the day, agree with suits for boys, dresses for girls. I guess, like, I don't know. I think if, like, for example, back in the old days of Walmart, um, granted, work and school are not the same, but I do think the general principle still applies. There was one singular dress code in the old days of Walmart. You had to wear khaki pants and a blue shirt. These days, the Walmart dress code is so lax, and is one of the reasons I actually, as much as I hate working for Walmart, am really struggling to leave, because having to work in jeans is really fucking uncomfortable. I like the fact that as long as it's below the knee, I can go to work in a skirt, and a pair of loose leggings. Obviously, you can't go to work in leggings. You have to, if you're going with leggings, you have to be wearing, like, a skirt that goes below the knee. But either way, like, it's a very lax dress code, and I think that when you offer that kind of freedom, it can reduce. But even then, it could reduce the like, a single suit that I feel like everybody has to wear. similar to what was back in the day with Walmart. Like everybody wore blue shirt and khakis. There, it was not blue shirt and khaki pants for men and blue shirt and I don't know, khaki skirt or something for women. It was just blue shirt and khaki pants, and that's what you had to go to work with. And I think if you want to make an argument for that, I can definitely concede to that. Like, if everybody wears the same thing, it definitely reduces fodder for bullies. But at the end of the day, while that is a good short-term solution, I think the proper long-term solution should be to um, increase funding towards like social programs within the school. You know, that like encourage kids to learn about each other and get along. You know, education is key um, to learning how to be a better and healthier school environment. And unfortunately, we're far off from that. I mean, we still have in the year of our Lord 2024, we have fucking states. Yeah, I could see that. Um, in the year of our Lord 2024, there are still fucking what you call it several states across the country that are ostracizing LGBT students and gaslighting transgender children, telling them that they're just victims of grooming, when any trans person, especially myself included, who's been dealing with some signs of this since as young as 2 years old, I just was completely clueless about what was going on until I hit my 20s, mainly due to the lack of education. Um, I feel like if people were more educated about, you know, different groups of people, um, and know that, hey, these people are actually normal, just like you, and, you know, it could really reduce a lot of the bullying that happens. Because a lot of kids get bullied in school because either they're gay, they're trans, or in my case, well, I was definitely bullied because of the fact that I was queer, but I was in the closet at the time, so I kind of, so it's hard to link it to that, but I don't know. They say your worst enemies see shit before you, and then, well, I say, sorry, not they, I. I usually just notice that your worst enemies see shit about you before you do, and then they point that out, and then you, having to prove them wrong, enter into denial, like, oh no, that's not true, I'm not gay, and it's like, no, no, that's not true either. Definitely am not straight, that's for sure. I definitely don't I definitely do not walk in a straight line in terms of partners. Nope. So, but it's just a matter of like understanding that people are different, and you know some people are gonna um you know be different. Some people are different, so they're gonna be different. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because coffee really tends to irritate the bladder. And I shall be right back, and we'll get into this video. Give me. Oh, I forgot. What was I doing? Right, change to break. Put on some rock music like a normal. A da da da. A da da da. Okay. Bye for just a few minutes. Oh, 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 oh. Bow, wow, 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 wow. What the fuck is up, fuckers and fuckettes and everybody in between? We are back. Was that good? Did you like that? Did you like that return? Was that suitable for the Commie Degeneral podcast? Why Trump is so dangerous.
Represents an evolution in the heart
I'm gonna
of
start this video
without a president.
over.
As the 2024 United States presidential campaign dives into its last full week, a dark threat lies on the horizon. That of an unfettered Trump presidency prepared for 4 years of implementing far-right doctrine. But fear-mongering about a potential Trump administration is nothing new, especially as Trump boasts that in 4 years his voters won't have to vote again, and he continues to champion a racist, anti-immigrant, far-right agenda.
Oh yeah, that like I did something the other day, like on one of my streams. I actually posted it on my YouTube channel. Like obviously it's a joke making fun of the shit that Trump says, but we had a lot of fun with this on my previous stream. Let me see if I can find it. Fuck, where is it? Video. Or no, let me open up the file manager. It might be easier to find shit that way. Like, quite obviously. Let's see. Recent. I think it's this one.
The radical left wants to import 100 trillion illegals per day illegally to vote for illegal politicians at illegal voting booths. It's terrible. It's an insurrection. Nobody knows insurrections like me. Vote Trump.
There you have it, guys. There you have it. He you know, like he knows what an insurrection is. Yeah. I wonder how does Trump know what an insurrection is? Nobody knows insurrections like me. How so? Does he have perhaps any experience in it? Very telling. Well, good on you, bro. Good on you for opening up. You finally owned up to your crimes against humanity, dog.
Many brush over, however.
Oh yeah, he literally said he wanted fucking Hitler's generals to you know, for his administration. He said something. He like I think someone in his cabinet basically tried to be like, ugh, I don't know about that one. Do you mean Bismarck generals? Do you mean the Weimar Republic generals? And then he's like, no. I mean Hitler's generals. I want that loyalty. It's like, what? This is 50-50 what we could end up with. Like, is this how far into fascism our country has fallen? Like, goddamn. Like, come on.
Inflection point in the climate crisis that Trump represents. An evolution in the hardening of fossil capital's strategy to embrace proto-fossil fascist figureheads like Trump. Today we'll dive into just how disastrous a Trump presidency would be for the climate and indeed the whole world. From Trump's
Buckle up, everybody, because it's gonna get pretty terrifying. By the way, if you don't know about this person, do subscribe. They make some really good content. I really do like their channel. I'll I'll give you a view of what some of their videos are like. Why Trump is so dangerous, why Palestine must be free, how we build socialist power, the dark truth about America's police. Like, we're talking about some really based commie shit. Like, I love this channel. Like, so if that's the kind of shit that interests you, like, definitely go check this person out. I really love it. Like, love this guy. Like, you can see by the lines at the bottom, like, I kind of been behind on the recent few videos, but I binge watch their shit. Like, there's some really good content. I fucking love this channel.
own words to the agendas of those surrounding him epitomized in Project 2025, we'll look at not only how fossil capitalists plan on protecting their production and profit in an age when they are very clearly causing a climate crisis, but also why fossil capitalists are fanning the flames of fascism. This is a glimpse into the dark world of a Trumpian fossil fascism. This video was made possible by Ground News. Stick around to the end to find out how you can get 40% off Ground News.
Yeah, that's fine.
3 days after the jury of a hush money trial found Trump on all 4 counts, the ex-president took to the stage at a rally and said this.
And the only thing they do is spend money on the Green New Scam. It's a Green New Scam. I mean, the things they're spending money on, it's like throwing the money out the window.
Alongside his misogynistic,
You wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
It's actually not a bad idea because that's actually one of the videos I haven't seen yet. So we'll watch it together. There you go.
Whole countries here.
transphobic rhetoric,
I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female.
Trump has also fashioned himself as an anti-climate action crusader. For Trump, denying the basic facts of the climate crisis goes hand in hand with transphobic, racist, and patriarchal policymaking, all of which are wrapped up in Trump's vision for making America great again. We've already witnessed.
You see, I feel like MAGA is almost based, like the phrase MAGA, make America blank. The only problem is that G. Great? No. That G, the REAT needs to be replaced with AY, and then we'd have a fully based hat. Make America gay again. I love it. We need that. That would be based.
Witnessed this ideology play out with disastrous consequences during his tenure in the White House. Immediately taking office, the Trump administration greenlit major pipelines like the Dakota Access and Keystone XL pipelines, and then rolled back 112 environmental rules by the time Biden took office in 2021. Among those rollbacks was the lifting of an Obama-era clean air rule in 2018 that tamped down on toxic air pollution from industry. While in 2020, Trump's administration freed oil and gas companies from having to detect or control their methane leaks. And the cherry on top for Trump was that he even pulled out of the Paris Climate Accords, signaling to...
Oh yeah, Paris Climate Accords. That's going to have a major impact, unfortunately, and we're seeing it too. Let's look at the recent stats regarding, let's see, recent heat. Wait, first of all, what year? What year did Trump back? Wait, did it literally? Wait, am I being dumb? Am I being stupid?
To other right-wing leaders that they could wriggle out of their responsibilities. And the cherry on top for Trump was that he even pulled out of the Paris Climate Accords, signaling companies from having to detect or control.
Okay, so no, it's not giving me anything. Back out of the Paris Climate Accords. Climate change. Wait. When did this happen though? Like it says here ever since 2017. But then it says November 4th, but it's like, is this a retrospective or is this a, well, at the time, current update? Published. Au revoir, Paris Agreement. It is so cringe that they would use little, they would cynically invoke the French farewell in something having to do with the Paris Climate Agreement. It is so fucking sad. Au revoir, Paris Agreement. As of Wednesday, under United Nations rules, the United States is officially out of the Global Climate Accord. So, as of Wednesday. So yeah, that was, yeah, so this was back in 2020. Let's look at, global heat index. Global heat index graph. Let's see if we can find that. Why the fuck does that look like a dick? It's not supposed to look like a dick. I know that's a thermometer, but it's drawn so fucking wrong. Oh my god. Come on, open up the fucking picture. I want the graph. We like stats on this channel. Y'all fuckers. Here we go. This is, let's see, what's the image? Statista. Source NOAA. Okay, so the source, according to this, is from NOAA themselves. So, oh my god, ew, come on, seriously? I can't read Celsius. Je ne comprends pas le Celsius métrique. So, yeah, so... But this isn't after the Paris Climate Accord. I guess not enough data has been... Not enough time has passed. I guess we'll revisit this in like 10 more years. So, yeah, totally. Climate change isn't real. Didn't you know, like, certain places still, like, receive snow or something? Um, and things. And so, like, you really think climate change is real? Step outside. Would you see snow on the ground? You think climate change is real? It's called touching grass and going outside and realizing it snowed last Thursday. Okay.
Source of
Did this thing start over? Oh no. Oh no, that's the other video. This was what we were watching.
Their methane leaks. And the cherry on top for Trump was that he even pulled out of the Paris Climate Accords, signaling to other
So it doesn't
leaders that
really-
they can wriggle out of their
okay.
responsibilities too. But for Trump, the 2016 presidency was a shock. Many reports revealed that he was ill-prepared to staff the executive branch. Even as Trump settled into the White House, the frequent firings and hirings of cabinet members resulted in a haphazard anti-environmental approach that was vulnerable to legal changes. As one journalist from The Guardian explains, Trump's previous term saw an enormous
Exactly.
number of defeats for his hurried attempts at environment.
In fact, even Milton and Helene was all commie conspiracy shit. Didn't you know that the Democrats... I can't hands because my arm is broken, but yes, the Democrats, did cloud seeding and made Hurricane Helene and Milton stronger to fight back against Florida for voting in DeSantis. Yeah, 100% fake. I agree. That if you listen to the news reporter himself, Donald Trump, exactly, you weren't there. You weren't there. So if you weren't there, you can't say it didn't happen. You can't say it did happen. You have to be there. In fact, the Big Bang itself, the Big fucking Bang, the thing that scientists say, started all of life. Were you there? Got you.
Rollbacks, as well as the departure of scandal-plagued cabinet members over.
Take that, scientists.
The outlook is different. Trump's team seems much more primed to seize power. As the director of the EPA's Air Office under George W. Bush notes, the Trump administration would be much more prepared. They know what they need to do to undo rules in a legally defensible way. If Trump's current campaign rhetoric is any indication, another 4 years would be a significant climate action defeat. Trump is on.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. I do see that if Trump wins, like, we're gonna... Well, it doesn't matter, unfortunately. Trump, Kamala, we're either way. Like, Trump wants to make it worse, but I feel like Trump is more the accelerationist. So if you're a big bad accelerationist, and you want to make things get worse so that everybody fucking wakes up and realizes how shit things are, then Trump's your guy. But Kamala's still not going to be that much better on the climate. I mean, she's still pandering to the fucking right. We're going to drill, baby, drill. Well, I don't think she said that personally. I think that was Trump. But still, she said nothing about banning fracking. She basically said that she has no intentions. It's really sad. Yeah, but
on campaign trail bashing.
I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, she'll have a more yeah. Especially if you're a member of the queer community, you're gonna have to basically see. For me, like, just because I, am lucky enough to be 30 and childless, have extremely low rent and cost of living in relation to $17 an hour wage and near total self-deprivation, including but not limited to food. I basically have enough of a nest egg to where I can borrow against my my bond ETFs and shit like that to get the fuck out of this country if things get too bad. But unfortunately, as I've also got attempted to go into on this channel, before that stream was blocked because of copyright shit. Fuck you, YouTube. Basically, not every LGBT person has that option, and we need to be there Yeah. Basically, like, not every LGBTQ plus person is going to have that option, and it's like mass deportation of immigrants, of undocumented immigrants, of millions of so-called undocumented, well, as he calls them, illegals. Um, it just, in order to get that many people to deport, the millions necessary to deport, you have to you have to expand your definition of illegal in order to accompany people who are actually not illegal, to include basically anybody who comes from the southern border. That's the only way you'll be able to reach your quota of millions of deporting the 10 million illegals that are flooding into this country. Like, it's like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, but see, that's the thing that I think is really depressing is like I don't think you should have to hide who you are just because the half the country decided that they wanted to vote for a fascist. Like, so yeah, basically, and anyone, like, in order to meet the millions of deportations threshold, has to be anyone of Mexican descent, or even anybody who looks Mexican. Like, if you're Mexican or you look Mexican, like, just be ready. They're probably, like, if Trump gets elected, they're probably coming for you next. Like this country is going down the shitter. It's getting bad. It's getting bad for everybody. Black people, immigrants, queer people, anyone who's cisgender woman, assigned female at birth. Like, if you're in any of these categories, like, just make sure you're ready, because shit's just gonna it's all downhill from here if Trump gets elected.
Policy. Again and again in speeches railed against wind turbines with ridiculous lies.
Their windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before.
And any
Exactly.
He wants electric
Yep.
vehicle mandates that will spell the death of the U.S. auto industry.
all the while touting the power of coal, inciting the coal to
Drill, baby, drill.
and opening up drilling for.
American energy dominance.
Indeed, a second-term Trump administration would very likely roll back significantly more environmental rules. Trump has already promised.
Oh
that
yeah.
his first day
In
office-
fact, he kind of if you look into the Project 2025 shit, it was actually listed that they want to undo all, like, the bureaucratic elements of the government and install, like, oh yeah, Trump needs to be deported. Deport him to Coconut Island. He'll have to suck dick to survive, or spend half a day, or spend the next 3 days catching half a bite of fish. Those are his only two options when the gay matriarchy takes over and we deport all the fascists.
he would repeal,
Insane electric vehicle mandate.
as well as start approving new gas export terminals. All the while, the Trump regime will most likely have its sights set on dismantling the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the largest climate bill in U.S. history. Altogether, a Trump presidency would mean the hollowing out of an already wacky U.S. climate agenda, leading the United States in the exact opposite direction it needs to be going by strengthening the grip fossil capital has on American politics and economy. According to an analysis from Carbon Brief, a second term of the Trump regime would add 4 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent into the atmosphere by 2030.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. We're gonna know what it's like to be a fish, guys. Take a fish out of water and they're just going like this. I do that probably too well, but they're gasping for air. They're obviously dying, and that's gonna be us in 2030. We're all gonna die. So, like, get your gas masks. You're gonna need it because that's the only way to actually step outside your house. Make sure your house is properly filtrated, as if that's even gonna be fucking possible, because we're in for a shit storm.
Combined annual emissions of the EU and Japan, or the combined annual total of the world's 140 lowest emitting countries. This would spell disaster at a time when we need to be quickly drawing down emissions to stave off the worst of climate chaos. But unfortunately, the whims of Trump are not the only specter on the horizon. The far right has already laid out detailed plans for how to defend fossil capital from environmental attacks and dismantle any necessary climate action. Down the road from the 2024 Republican National Convention, far-right politicians, libertarian bigwigs, and billionaires were concocting a plan. At an event hosted by the Heritage Foundation, these scions of capital put the finishing touches on the roadmap for Trump presidency. This plan is the conservative movement's effort to get the next conservative administration to the government. The 922-page document, Mandate for Leadership, Promise, also known as Project 2025, is extensive.
Oh yeah, one of the worst things that's gonna apply to LGBT people in here, gay marriage is cooked. if you're in a same-sex relationship, you're cooked. Like, you're just not going to be able to get married. If you're trans, you're basically going to be treated like a predator distributing porn to children. If you're walking out and about and you're like, you just happen to walk home from work, or in my case, be on my scooter going home, from work until this shit happened. And your path just happens to be, in a direction where there happens to be a school on this side. But the only reason you go down that path is because, well, the road is incredibly smooth and is a lot less painful to ride on a scooter. And surprise, surprise, the reason being is because there's a fucking school there. Surprise, surprise. It just so happens. But shit like this would make that a crime if you're trans, because you're basically a sexual object. That's how the government feels about you. Because as we all know, tranny chasers only ever experience trans people through Pornhub and other adult sites. So they think that that's what being trans is, and so they got to make sure that if we're publicly ourselves, and not just pleasuring someone else in a video for their entertainment, if they just want us to go back into the fucking closet. And yeah, unfortunately, that's how it's gonna be. Even though we're just out here just trying to pay our fucking bills and work our job and just try to get by, just our mere existence in a public setting is a danger to children.
And Scary. It's the latest installment of the Mandate for Leadership series that the Heritage Foundation has published since 1981. These manifestos are blueprints for a conservative, libertarian, and nationalist agenda for America. Past editions have been integral to Republican policymaking in the White House. According to the Heritage Foundation, who spearheads these manifestos, 64% of their 2016 Mandate for Leadership policy recommendations were adopted by the Trump administration. So these documents have significant sway, which is especially concerning considering that their newest agenda charts the course for, as the director of the Heritage Foundation said,
The Second American Revolution.
Within the document lie plans for a whole dismantling and concentration of the executive branch to push forward libertarian and Christian far-right goals, like eliminating the Department of Education, slicing apart Medicaid, FDA approval of abortion pills, and
the Department of Education, there's a big one, you got to make sure that the kids don't learn about people who are different from them, learn about the country's history of slavery and oppression of women and gender and sexual minorities, and you can't learn about that, because otherwise you're going to want to vote against people who want to bring that shit back. You don't want that. You don't want that. We got to make sure that the kids are pawns of the state and willing to die for the country, willing to give their one and only life up for a country that honestly, morally should not fucking exist.
and reinforcing the border with horseback guns.
Oh, yep. Stock up on water purification tablets. Be sure to just stock up on water, period, because water purification tablets absolutely fucking nothing if there's no water coming from your tap at all, because all the water reserves dried up. So just stock up on as much water as you can, and for the short term, get some water purification tablets. You might need it if your water starts coming out looking like it came fresh from the sewer. And if that's the case, water purification might help. It might not take away the fresh smell and fresh raw taste of shit, but it may actually make it less toxic and deadly for you to drink. Just you're still drinking sewage water, but at least it's safe to drink. We might have to go back to the old days of how people back in the old days used to actually just pound back a shot of liquor after drinking water in order to kill any bacteria in their stomach from the dirty fucking well water. We're gonna die, guys. Okay, that was so dramatic, but still.
Patrols. In short, this is a playbook for the concentration of power into the hands of the few as a way to defend America's Christian and traditionalist identities from perceived and often racialized outsiders. As the Global Project Against Hate and Extremism notes, Project 2025 paints progressives and liberals as outside acceptable politics, and not just ideological opponents, but inherently anti-American and replacing American values. Targeting vulnerable communities is a core tenet of Project 2025. This is just a step away from fascism. Borrowing from political theorist Roger Griffin's definition of the term, fascists mobilize two narratives in order to assert power and control. One, that the nation is decaying and in a crisis of identity and needs to be restored to its former glory, and two, the narrative that the nation has to defend itself against.
I don't know if he's gonna I don't know if he's gonna talk about mention this. Maybe he will, but basically, the nation is in decline narrative is basically that LGBT people are degenerates and women are now choosing not to have children, and because of the lower white birth rates, um, immigrants are coming in droves to, I don't know, steal our elections or something, even though undocumented immigrants cannot vote in our elections. You know, that's kind of have to be a citizen to do that. Like that's kind of the thing here. Um, but you know, like I. You can't have an intelligent conversation with these people. If you even try, like you're just gonna pull your hair out. You're just gonna run circles around them. Yeah. So, like, if you've seen Vosh's debate from you know that he had with a lot of like tankies and a lot of Nazis, like he just drove in circles. It was so fucking frustrating. And yeah, definitely the enemy within shit. Like 100%. Like we talked about that in the last stream. Was it the last stream or the stream before that? I don't remember. But basically, Trump wanted to on election day. He floated sending the U.S. military after you know the country, you know the voters, you know. So I don't know why he wants to do that, but something tells me this guy might be a fascist. I don't know. Call it a hunch, but I'm giving it like a 10% chance that he's a possibly maybe a fascist, maybe 20%, maybe 100%. I don't know. Can't really tell. Oh, wait.
Racialized outsiders that are threatening the nation's glory. In the case of Project 2025, this means restoring America to its quote-unquote true American values,
hey,
the second
baby.
American Revolution, if you will, by battling those that have led to American decay and impotence. For the authors of Project 2025, these are liberals, progressives, and racialized communities, specifically immigrants. Coupled with calls for the defense of American conservative values by eliminating the noxious tenets of critical race theory and gender ideology from schools and saving the free market economy.
Yeah, God forbid people who are not. Oh, she's waving at the camera. I was saying you were waving at the camera.
It was.
Yes, that's my baby, and her and I are talking about getting married in November, right? 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 Baby? Baby! Talking about getting married in November.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my lights aren't working yet.
Oh yeah, well, that's that. It's called getting a frappuccino when you get to the casino. She works at the casino. Bitch is making almost twice my salary. Fuck her.
No.
Plus tips.
My lights aren't working yet.
Yeah. It's called a frappuccino. When you get there, have a frap.
What time are we at?
What time are 10:18.
It's called to have to be to work in less than 2 hours.
Oh no, I know. I know. I remember you have to be to work at 12.
And it's already
You're overheated.
a little bit.
Oh, I hear you. Well, I'm gonna let you finish getting ready for work. So, I'm gonna try to get through one more video of here, and then I'll cut the stream, and then I'll try to spend some time with you before you leave.
Yeah, I don't care.
I know, but I still wanna spend time with you, because I love you, because you're the best thing to ever happen to me, and the world sucks without you.
It's okay.
Alright, I love you, baby.
From regulation.
I love that bitch.
Dark plans for environmental destruction that could likely come to pass under a Trump presidency. Echoing Trump's calls for American energy dominance, Project 2025 seeks the unleashing of all of America's energy resources, which, as journalist Zoya Tierstein from Grist explains, means eliminating federal restrictions on fossil fuel drilling on public lands, curtailing federal investments in renewable energy technologies, and easing environmental permitting restrictions and procedures for new fossil fuel projects such as power plants. More specifically, Project 2025 outlines a crusade.
Yeah, that's just very sad. It should not be easier to pollute our environment. It should be harder. And people who work those jobs, like, I understand that you're also part of the proletarian class, but maybe you should also be given an incentive to find another job. So, like a higher tax rate on coal, on W-2 income from a coal-based employer, maybe like a carbon tax almost, and then also like resources to help you, you know, find, like give you the skills for other jobs, and then eventually the government also puts sanctions on the company doing the coal mining, saying you're gonna stop what you're doing, and because like I'm okay with that. Like we need to discourage people from wanting to work in the coal industry, and we need to destroy the coal industry altogether. Like it needs to go. Like it should not be fucking easier. It should be harder to find workers for an industry that is going to destroy the earth, and it should be harder to run a business. And then once it gets to the point where oil mining rigs are like well, not mom and pops, but like individual locations ran by smaller businesses, that's when the government can finally step in and be like, and we're done, go home, pack up, no more oil, we're done. Yeah, I do believe in cracking down with an iron fist on fossil fuels, and of course, obviously, we're talking about Trump, and it does not. He is not going to agree with that. Slight disagreement. Yeah, you good? You good, babe? Baby. Baby. You okay?
I think so.
It's just the normal.
Yep.
Okay. If you, well, it's too late for you to call out, but yeah, I think on Monday you should call and see if they can get you in sooner. And don't worry about coming with me to my appointment whenever that is this week.
Okay.
No, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just go to your appointment. So see if you can get an earlier date.
Science and environmental regulation with a specific aim on the Environmental Protection Agency. Indeed, a whole chapter written by the likely next EPA director under Trump, Mandy Gunasekara, is dedicated to the agency. Within the section, Gunasekara lays out a vision for significantly scaling back and defunding the administration, cutting any climate change related programs, cutting social costs of carbon ideas, repealing hydrofluorocarbon regulation, eliminating the Environmental Justice Office, and repealing transportation emissions standards. All the while, Gunasekara proposes cleansing the EPA of left-wing environmental activists who are politicizing the agency, what we know as civil servants. Instead of civil servants who have decades of institutional knowledge that keep the administration running, Project 2025 suggests putting political appointees in charge. The manifesto suggests
Yeah, that's this is basically an analysis of Project 2025 and explaining the effect that it's going to have on our EPA, and why this is a very thing for the environment. And yeah, it makes sense. And let's be real, guys. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to be that much better. I mean, she says she doesn't want to ban fracking. She said that came right from the horse's mouth. Um, so like, yeah, so she doesn't want to ban fracking. She doesn't want to, like, I forget what else she said on like the right wing attacks on her environmental policies, but she did not have a very based backbone when it came to that stuff. It was very disappointing. I'm still voting for her because I think she's way better overall, but she's not going to be less genocidal. I'm hoping she'll be more open to listening to Palestinian voices, and hopefully, at the very least, doing a weapons embargo against Israel, at least. But I don't think she's going to be that much different, at least from Biden. She's at the least going to be probably um No, she won't even be Sock Dem. I don't think she's as far left as Bernie. She's probably going to be more center left, probably. But I'm not getting my hopes up. She's not a very strong candidate in terms of left wing politics, but I do think she's in terms. If you have me in a voting booth, you got me at gunpoint. You're going to pick between Kamala and Trump, but one of those is going to send you off to the camps. Well, then that's an easy decision because I don't want to die. And that decision is Kamala.
Run the Office of Transportation and Air Quality, the Office of Research and Development, the American Indian Office, creating a new chief of staff to oversee the Air Office, and a political appointee to run a newly created Renewable Fuel Standard Office. In short, Project 2025 envisions cutting environmental enforcement to scraps, and then those scraps will be overseen by political appointees like Guna Sakara, who are dead set on the eradication of the agency itself. If you're interested in learning more specifics, I highly recommend reading the section itself or checking out Amy Westervelt's drilled newsletter article breaking down and analyzing the chapter. But Project 2025 goes even further. After proposing wholesale defanging of the EPA, which will undoubtedly open up the floodgates for more fossil fuel production, emissions, and ultimately drive us deeper into climate change,
Yeah.
I
can see that. She's very disappointing on a lot of issues.
And atmospheric administration because they claim it has become one of the main drivers of the climate change alarm industry and as such is harmful to the future of U.S. prosperity.
Climate change alarmists. I've heard bad things, very bad things, terrible things about the climate change alarmists. Gonna kill Lockheed Martin and U.S. oil and we're gonna ban these radical left lunatics and we're gonna make America great again and we're gonna drill, baby, drill, vote Trump. Thank you.
Alongside writing that the preponderance of
I hate the fact that my brain is so rotted and so decreased in terms of IQ points that I can fucking do a Trump impression. You have to really suffer. Like, if you can do a perfect Trump impression, that means you've seen so much brain rot from Trump that you've lost a shit ton of IQ points. Like, you are a victim if you can do, like, you're definitely a fucking victim if you can do a perfect Trump impression. Like, you're a victim of something and you need help. As do I. I need help because I want those IQ points back. I want those IQ points back.
Under NOAA and is the basis for our free and accessible weather reports should be privatized. This could potentially lead to a scenario where hurricane alerts and severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings or even just daily weather reports are blocked behind paywalls. To make matters even worse, Project 2025 suggests that the National Flood Insurance Program, which was created to protect homes that private insurance deemed too risky to insure, should be wound down and replaced with private insurance. This is capitalism run rampant, allowing profit motive and the ever-accumulation of capital to decide who gets access to the very necessities of life. The dismantling of these agencies would act as even more ammunition for the likes of Trump and the Heritage Foundation. As the vice president of Evergreen Action, Craig Segal, notes in an interview with Grist, this has long been a plan of conservatives, and especially libertarians. What you do is you make it very hard for the government to function, and then you loudly announce that the government can't do anything. So the future under a Trump presidency could mean a dark world, a world in which the fossil fuel industry runs rampant while research and
So you see how, like, I get that these are probably like stock footage, right? But it's a good visual of what we're basically looking at in our future. Like, take a look at like just how thick this shit is. Like, it could be filters, could be stock footage, but maybe not. I mean, look at all this smoke being emitted, all this CO2. And then just look at the environment around it. Like, even if this is a fake, exaggerated, like maybe CGI, like, it's still very, very fucking realistic. And this is essentially what it would look like if we continue to allow these fucking fossil fuel emitting toxic cancer pits, or cancer factories, whatever, if we allow them to continue to pollute our air. Like, it's like, ugh. I don't want to breathe that shit in, do you?
A world in which the fossil fuel industry runs rampant while research, information, and recovery from climate chaos are stopped at every turn. A world where fossil capitalists enable dangerous far-right politics to shield their assets. This is the looming...
Yeah, see... Here's the thing, like, when it comes to assets, like, if you're a standard, like, fucking every person, you're working a full fucking time job, and you have a $40,000 portfolio filled with bonds, maybe your stock purchase plan from the company you work for, maybe some crypto, like, you're not the fucking problem here. That's not even enough to get you through an entire decade of retirement. But if you're like if you're like millions of dollars in assets, and a lot of those assets are tied into fossil fuels, you have a vested interest in making sure that that shit does not get impacted by climate policy. And so it doesn't matter. And so you're gonna make up fucking bullshit like we have fucking hurricane guns and Jewish space lasers. And that last thing is an actual fucking thing said by an actual sitting congressperson, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She literally said the California wildfires are goddamn Jewish space lasers. What the fuck? These are our elected politicians? That's embarrassing.
Fossil fascism. As the climate crisis bears down on us with intensifying hurricanes, floods, droughts, and wildfires, the fossil fuel industry and fossil capital in general become increasingly untenable. The truth is that to stop climate change, fossil fuel extraction must end, and fossil capitalists have already realized this. So to continue with business as usual, to preserve their power, fossil capitalists might funnel more and more funds into the far right, a political wing that has shown their eagerness to protect and defend infrastructure and profits of fossil capitalists, as we already saw during Trump's presidency. The result of this would be the elites of the fossil class.
Exactly. The water we drink is already filled with fucking chemicals like chlorine and all this other shit that will eventually kill us in our fucking 80s. As we all know, life is the deadliest disease known to mankind or humankind or whatever. After all, it has a 100% fatality rate. But it's like when you add filthy, disgusting water to the mix, where it basically in the future it's just going to be straight sewage water. Like your next door neighbor that just flushed their shit down the toilet, that's where your water's going to be coming from. So like, like that's how bad it's going to fucking be. And then it's like and then like it's going to be horrible. It's going to be a nightmare. Like I don't want my water to disappear, and I sure as hell want to be Oh, I just got a new follower. Ooh, Vampire Hunter D, thank you for following the show. We love to have you. But yeah, so I don't want this, guys. I don't want this. I wanna No, Stalin did nothing wrong. We're not becoming a third world country. We are the most technologically advanced third world country to date. We aren't becoming one, we are one. We just have technology as a good cover.
The power
but yeah, like this country is going down the fucking shitter. We have politicians that are goddamn Nazis and puking out all this this bull rhetoric about how we got Jewish fucking space lasers. Like, are you a child? Like Jewish space lasers, yeah. First of all, that sounds fucking based. I want a bar mitzvah now. Second of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, wake up, people. Wake up. This is the direction the country's going. We're supposed to be the best country in the world, the leader in freedom, and like we're supposed to be a nation above nations, the imperial core, and we're out here saying fucking dumb bullshit. Like, come on, like, we need a better I agree. We need some fucking Jewish space lasers. We need more. Like, I feel like we need to target them more towards like Ron DeSantis's mansion. Like, just just have like a little switch like right here in your temple, and then you're just looking down at his mansion. You need to go like this. Yes, Joker song. Yes, the space lasers have to at least say shalom before being fired. So when you're hovering over DeSantis's mansion, it's like this: shalom, motherfucker. And then DeSantis's mansion just goes. That'd be based. We need more of that shit. I'd love it.
protect their profits and infrastructure. This is fossil fascism, which I discussed thoroughly in this video I made all about the subject. Or put another way by the Degeneral collective, fascism is a politics of palingenetic ultranationalism that comes to the fore in a conjuncture of deep crisis, and if the leading sections of the dominant class throw their weight behind it and hand it power, there ensues an exceptional regime of systematic violence against those identified as enemies of the nation. Looking at the funding pouring into the Trump campaign, it's clear which horse fossil capital is betting on. As we've just seen, Trump seems dead set on assuring a continued business as usual for the fossil fuel industry. He paints fossil fuels as a solution to making America great again by connecting American energy.
Oh, by the way, a shameless plug, everybody. If you're watching, go subscribe to Joker Song. He's a VTuber. He makes cringe shit just like I do, and it's worth following his shit. You know, just a thought. If you're looking for entertaining shit, go check his shit out.
Dominance while blaming wind turbines and electric vehicle subsidies for American decay. And fossil capitalists love it, which is why oil and gas money pervades his campaign. Indeed, Trump even requested $1 billion from fossil capitalists for his campaign fund in return for
I gave you a promotion. I gave you a promotion. Shit, am I able to even make you a mod on this thing? Like, how do I make you a mod? I'll fuck with that after the show. Alright. Wait, where was I? Oh, right.
An agenda that would surely include executive orders drafted directly by the oil industry. Even looking at the funding for Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, the principles of fossil capital, specifically Koch Industries, grip tightly on figureheads and associated organizations. So as the climate crisis bears down on this, and as the far right offers a lifeline to the fossil fuel industry elites,
yeah, that'd be fine.
They're willing to throw their money and power behind the racist.
Yeah, after I shut off the stream, feel free to come downstairs and you can show me how to do that.
So that they can continue polluting and, more importantly, accumulating capital and profits. Fossil capital is fanning the flames of fossil fuel nationalism in the 2024 election. A nationalism which, if Trump's first term in office and Project 2025's playbook is any indication, will focus on dismantling regulation to reinvigorate American energy with fossil fuels combined with a violent crackdown on any perceived racialized threat to America. Or as Trump puts it,
American energy dominance.
This proto-fossil fascism is on the horizon. It is imperative then to not only fight to stop its...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that... They wanna make sure drugs and shit are like banned for us dirty peasants, but let's be real. People like Trump are definitely snorting coke off of Jeffrey Epstein's trafficked, like, he's definitely doing that shit. Like, at least, if not now, then definitely back in the day. He's definitely doing some creepy shit with that coke.
Ascendancy to power, but build a more caring, just, and regenerative world in its stead. If there's one thing to be said about the far right in the United States, it's that they are organized and prepared. Project 2025 is a scarily exacting manifesto. It is a vision that can be realistically implemented because of its thorough consideration of all facets of the executive branch. Anti-capitalist environmentalists and movements need to take notes. We need radical plans that bring power, justice, and environmental healing to all. We need 900-page documents that lay out our plans for economies of care, systems that restore and heal our environment.
Oh yeah, we definitely need that. Like, if the right wing can come up with this manifesto about how they're gonna fuck us all in the ass legislatively, need to come up with a 900-page chastity belt to be like, nah, get the fuck away from us, dude. You don't have any say over that shit. You're not going to destroy our planet for your fucking profits. Like, that's another thing. Like, if you're investing in your company, like, if you're participating in the associate stock purchase plan at Walmart or whatever stock plan, don't let it get to your fucking head. Okay? Like, it's very easy to want to see that line go up, but really, you shouldn't be giving too much of a fuck about the return if it's going to result in a planet that you will not be able to live on. What the fuck is the point of a return if you're spending all that money on survival gear? Like, come on. What's the point of working for a bank and investing in your bank? And only to lead to a financial crash later down the road in which you lose your house and your stock because you wanted line go up. And so you vote for dipshits that are going to deregulate everything and fuck over people like you. Like, just don't vote with your stock portfolio, please. That's really some crazy bourgeois shit.
Ones that not only imagine, but plan out and organize how we might build a zero-carbon world. In the meantime, while we build that power, we need to fight the fossil fuel nationalism. We need to keep Trump out of power. If his words and those of his allies in Project 2025 are any indication, another 4 years in the White House would be a disaster for Earth and those living on it. For many, this may mean wading into electoral politics and voting in the upcoming election. To be clear, electoral politics is not our ultimate goal, especially because the Democratic Party cannot save us. Again and again, they've showed their ineptitude at creating any form of environmental policy at the scale needed to tackle the climate crisis. And yes, the Inflation Reduction Act was a massive climate bill, but nowhere near the level of ambition it needed to be. But in this inflection point, they are unfortunately the least bad option when measured up against proto-fossil fascism. But the reality is that in the long run, we can't just wait for one vote every 2 or 4 years. And Trump is just a figurehead. There will always be another right-wing candidate, and there will be more versions of Project 2025. So building
unfortunately, that is true.
Is crucial because transformation and change don't just happen during an election. True power is built every day by creating deep connections with your community and within movements. Through those relationships and organizations, we can then fight from a position of strength to build a world that brings a good life to all on a renewable planet. Sure, vote if you want, but to stop fossil fascism in its tracks, we need to build something stronger, more ethical, and more liberatory than just not voting. At the end of the day, we need to organize, act, and build power for an anti-racist.
Take notes, guys, because we definitely. Like, if we can't, like, you're definitely not as likely to make an impact on the federal level, but if you start at, like, the local level and you vote in your, districts for, like, your mayors and your city councilmen, exactly, like, even if you, had, like, a Fidelity account and bought shares in McDonald's. Oh, no. Baby. Do you need me to cut the stream? Baby, you okay? Yeah, like, basically, even if you put, no, she has an issue where she has a hernia, well, had a hernia and got surgery for it, and it's not really working, very well, and, she's got an appointment later on for it, but, yeah. Yeah, so, no, you're fine, baby. Are you okay?
God, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I'll, like I said, I just got one more video to go through, and then I'll try to spend the rest of the time with you. Yeah, so, like, we just need to get out there and vote, guys. Like, start at the local level, work your way up to the state level, and, you know, like, smaller districts, you're more like, your vote is more proportional to the overall, community, but, you know. Well, let's go ahead and check out how we build socialist power. We'll watch this one, and then I'm gonna cut the stream so I can spend time with my fiance before she goes to work.
For decades, private utility companies neglected their duties by eschewing oversight and prioritizing profit over preparedness. They failed to winterize the grid, making it susceptible to damage from extreme weather events that ultimately resulted in widespread blackouts and suffering for millions of Texans. A preventable disaster brought on by greed and the whims of capital. In the United States, and indeed globally,
I don't know how to do this by, like, 2x by default, because I feel like that's gonna help me against, like, TOS shit. Yes, you're definitely coconut pilled, as we all are. Definitely gotta go to... I don't know if we want to go to Vosh's Coconut Island, or Adam Something's Coconut Island, although I guess they're kind of the same nation, maybe a different province. But I do know there's a third Coconut Island, and it's where all the fascists get deported to, and that is my Coconut Island. Oh no! Oh no! I forgot. I've been exposed. I've been exposed, guys. I am not a human. I was hatched from an egg. I'm actually a lizard, in case you didn't know. Okay, I don't know what that was.
We are at a crossroads when it comes to electricity and the power grid that moves vast amounts of energy across whole countries. A choice now lies ahead of us. Down one path lies
Horse
the
guy,
of
based as fuck.
neoliberal capitalist
Love
approach
me
to
some
energy production,
vouch.
transmission, and distribution
Some
at the base of
voosh.
electricity, which has now become essential to life, firmly in the hands of private owners who have no responsibilities to the public. Down the other path lies the promise of the Tennessee Valley Authority and more recently the New York Power Authority. Publicly owned utilities that place the decision-making and power in both senses of the word about how energy is created and used into the hands of the people. One path locks in business as usual and climate chaos, and the other charts a future of more equitable and environmentally sound energy grid. Today we
Oh yeah, that's like the difference between capitalism and like socialism is socialism, you know, nobody wants to fucking die. I mean, so everybody's gonna like vote for like, you know, like not coal. We're like, even like, I feel like if we, all the harsh shit I said about coal workers earlier, I do feel like if we turned their, you know, if we enforced like a worker cooperative model, love you too, Mother Bear. Mother Bear. There we go. Gotta give that hick redneck sound. But anyway, yeah, so, like, capitalism just wants to make you, like, richer by exploiting natural resources and, producing unending bullshit with finite resources. Most of it we don't fucking need. Whereas socialism, everybody's gonna vote to not die, to not drown under 10 feet of water. That's just kind of like I'm all for the commie shit. Let's continue.
Cover just how crucial the power grid is for a zero carbon world, as well as how it can be a lodestone for a larger eco-socialist economy.
Yes, that is true. Might I also add, not only is communism when gay, but also socialism is when government thing. Hi, baby. How you feeling?
Like shit.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, I'll try to be off by somewhere between 11 and 11:10.
That's not gonna happen.
Why?
I need to be out of here by that.
But I thought you usually give yourself 45 minutes.
No, ever since I got written up, I've been trying to give myself an hour.
Oh. Well, I'll try to finish up
Seriously,
then.
it's okay. Take your time.
But I love you and I want to spend time with you. Oh, let's get through a bit of this and then, huh?
If you want to listen to me talk what little brains I have left, be my guest. Other than that, it's fine.
My stubborn wife, folks. Don't worry, I'll show her. I'll get through this video, and I'll cut the stream, and I'll spend time with her. We'll show her. Exactly. Like, Social Security, it's so oppressive. We can't let the elderly folks retire with their broken hip and shattered rib cage. No. You think that just because you got a broken hip and a shattered rib cage that you get to retire and live peacefully in dignity? Nah, back to the mines. Fucker. Nah, like, no retirement for nobody. Retirement's not allowed. Like Ben Shapiro too. Like, Ben Shapiro would definitely agree. Retirement is... Wait, is it Ben Shapiro? I don't know who said it, but one of them said that retirement is stupid. Based. You can't retire. Back to the mines with you. You?
It was better. Use the link in the description below or stick around until the end to find out how you can support our changing climate directly by signing up for Nebula or even gift Nebula to a friend. On Nebula, you can watch this video ad-free and also watch over 30 OCC videos that I haven't released on YouTube, including my most recent Nebula Plus video breaking down what it would take to reach 100% renewable power generation across the grid. Stretching across North America lies a dense network of energy, an interconnected machine of power plants, substations, and power lines, the energy grid, a massive machine bringing power from faraway production to the homes of millions of consumers. Much of our lives in North America function on the security that when we flick on a switch, the light will go on, or when we plug in our phone, it will charge. Without a reliable power grid, that security doesn't exist. But what exactly is the power grid? And
that's a bad one.
Very simply, the grid is a collection of power plants, transmission lines, and distribution centers that facilitate the movement of energy from producers to consumers.
And here's another thing I have a problem with in regards to this system. We need more, like, suppliers of the electrical grid, because I'll be honest, like, here we have National Grid and this shit sucks. as it stands, because there's no money in my, or there, like, I completely restructured my portfolio earlier this week, and so therefore I have no margin to pay my bills. I have to wait till the funds settle. Um, I'm gonna have a $10 fine, not fine, fee, for the bullshit, the non-paid whatever. So,
Fees and fines are generally the same thing.
well, fine is from the government, fee is from a corporation, usually. Or no, fine is from law enforcement, usually. Like, fee is from, like, government and corporate profit seekers. So, but yeah, like, they like, it sucks to not have. I don't know, but for me it's just a skill issue. Like, I should have switched my I shouldn't have restructured my finances so soon before the bill is due, and I probably should have had it linked to another account somewhere else, and I didn't do that. So that's actually more of a skill issue, not a you know. So that's my fault, but still, like, overall, my experience with National Grid has been complete dog shit. And so arguably, we need more fucking electric companies. And if these,
2 words.
what?
Solar power.
Yeah, yeah, solar power. We need, like, if we really want to hurt these fucking fossil fuel burning machines, bring in the solar. Bring in the solar panels, baby. Bring in the fucking windmills. Bring in the hydro. Like, throw a fucking. Go to the Mohawk River and stick a rotor or something down at the base and have it be, like, pushed around by the water. Like, we'll get our power from the Mohawk River. That's perfect, guys. It's always moving, always rushing. Not into Ukraine, though. So no, it's not Russian into Ukraine. So
To be clear, utilities are not fossil fuel companies or extraction corporations. They merely purchase oil and gas to use in their generators to create energy that then flows through transmission lines to homes and industry. In short, the grid is the veins and the heart that deliver fuel to customers, and the utilities control, operate, and build out that infrastructure. The grid, especially in the US, however, is primarily controlled by private utilities. As of 2017, investor-owned utilities serve 72% of the United States market. And because the infrastructure of energy grid requires immense upfront cost, these utilities need the security of a captive market to make a profit. More specifically, competing with an
that's right. That's right. We got to think about the profits of the billionaires. Drill, baby, drill, baby. Wait, it's just drill, baby, drill. Why did I add baby a second time?
already established utility by laying out costly new transmission lines, substations, and generation stations is a fool's errand. As a result, utilities in the United States have become natural monopolies in their local markets. Because of this propensity for monopoly power under free market capitalism, a regulatory pact was established from the 1920s to the 1980s that allowed for private utilities to completely capture local markets, but in a heavily regulated manner. In the words of David Roberts from Grist, the regulation of utilities landed on a compromise. In a particular service area, a utility is granted a monopoly. In that area, it is the sole electricity provider. It is allowed to charge its customers whatever rates are necessary to cover costs and provide for a reasonable rate of return on investments. In exchange, the utility has to make investments sufficient to provide reliable, low-cost.
See, let's go ahead and see. This is the thing that makes me such a like. I love talking about like related stuff. I love like socialist critiques of like the stock market. So let's look at their investor relation page. Let's see what their investor relations is about. Let's see. Investors. Here we go. Let's see. Welcome to National Grid Investors. We are one of the world's largest publicly listed utilities focused on transmission and distribution of electricity and gas. We play a vital role in connecting millions of people to the energy they use safely, reliably, and efficiently. Our annual reports and accounts. I think these are like their financials and shit. Hi, sweetness. Welcome to the show. You're not too late. We're actually on our last thing. I'm actually discussing like right now we're watching a video by Our Changing Climate in regards to power grids, and they're discussing how power grids are essentially monopolies, and a lot of the time investor driven. And so we're going over the investment thing for National Grid, which is actually the provider local to me. Like, I just love looking at like shit related to stocks and just like ripping into it because it's just, like if you're an external investor, like what the fuck? Like, I don't like external investors. Typically they have so much fucking money. Like, we need to just distribute that shit more equally. So, let's see. I think this is about the annual reports. Let's look at their profits. Here you can view or download our full annual report. Well, actually, no. I'm going to go directly to Edgar, sec.gov/Edgar. Let's pull up their 10K, shall we? Warning: this is actually some complicated stuff. Like, we're talking accounting language, but I'll try to simplify it to the best of my understanding, because the best way to critique the system is to understand it, guys. So, all right, let's see. What was their symbol? LSE, right? So LSE. I think that's this one. Here we are. Let's check out their 10K, see what their profits are like, because I guarantee you, well, I could be wrong. I don't know. Just want to find. Oh, yep. That's a good stock to have. Gotta stock up on as much of those as possible. We God only knows when or if we're gonna fucking need them. What am I looking for? I'm trying to find the fucking. Wait. Exclude insider. No, I want 10Ks. Wait, go back. No, god damn it. Edgar. Try this again. No, not Edgar. God damn it. What was it again? Was it FE or SE? SE. Okay. LSE. So it's this one. Okay, we'll just open that in a new tab. Okay, it brought me here again. Wait, company information. I don't think it's that one. No. Where is? Wait, maybe I can find draft registration statement. I am way better at this than I. Let's just. Where were we? How did I? You know what? I'll just look it up. National. Thank you, sweetness. Welcome back to the show. National Grid. National Grid. What was it? LSE 10-K. Here we are. It's not from Edgar, but Edgar's being a bitch right now, so alright, let's see. Can I click? No? God damn it. I need the actual document that I can actually interact with. Like, that's what I need. Because that's the one that's going to help me get to the important part, because we're trying to look at the fucking profits. National Grid London Stock Exchange. Like, if I have to, I'll just simplify it by going to fucking Yahoo. Because, like, I don't have time to fucking fuck around with this shit. Alright, I'm done. .com finance. There we go. LSE. So their stock price is 11.06 a share. That's tragic. Poor things. I'm sure they'll survive. Let's see. How old is the stock? Oh, it goes back to 2019. You know, they got pretty desperate. Here we are. Total. Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing alright. How you doing? Let's see. First, let's look at their. Alright, here we are. Gross profit. So this is before their. Like, wait. Trying to find their actual net income. balance sheet cash flow. And I guess we can look at like the well, I don't know. I don't think that really does well to total assets. Here we go. Total equity, total liabilities, and net minority interest. No, we don't want that. I think it's this one. So current liabilities. So they're doing pretty good. They've got $1.4 billion in assets, and their current liabilities is $496 million. Like, I'd say they have 3 times their assets, so I see no reason why they need to make fucking all like their shit so expensive. Like, we just need. Oh, baby. Baby! Sweetness is in chat. She says, hey yo. She says hi. Yeah, so in terms of their assets to liabilities, it looks like they're in good standing, actually. It looks like they don't need to price gouge, but, you know, that's what happens when you consolidate and form monopolies. Let's go down to back to here. So pre-tax income. So this is after the gross profit, after getting income and their expenses. 36 million so far, trailing 12 months. Let's see, 44 million for 2023. $101 million for 2022. 66 million in 2021. This is during pandemic era, folks. Like, this is their shit. Oh, look at that. Oh, National Grid got a boo-boo. They lost income in 2020. The poor things. The poor fellas. They lost $12 million. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, the poor things. They'll be alright, though. I'm sure they'll be fine. With their fucking 3 times their assets by their, you know. So, let's get back to this.
Cost power to any customer in the area who wants it with minimal line losses. In short, investor-owned utilities are forced to keep costs reasonable in exchange for a captive market. But since the 1970s, there have been 17 states and municipalities that deregulated their energy generation and transmission companies. Under the assumption that freeing utilities from regulation would bring cheaper prices to customers, lawmakers and politicians turned an essential service into a commodity. The idea behind this deregulation was that if more utilities joined the fray, customers would have more ability to choose and thus would get cheaper prices. But that's far from the case. As the New York Times reports, on average, residents living in a deregulated market pay $40 more per month for electricity than those in states that let individual utilities control most or all parts of the grid. And a deregulated
pay 40 more per month for electricity than that let control most or all.
$40 more per month for electricity than those in states that let individual utilities control most or all parts of the grid. And a deregulated capitalist power grid can have disastrous consequences when it comes to climate change fuel disasters like we saw in Texas, when a deep freeze hit the unprepared state and left millions without power. A crisis which the heavily deregulated utilities took advantage of and jacked up energy bills for suffering customers to over
See, that's another thing that needs to fucking be banned is price gouging. Like, if you fuck up your shit and you can't get your fucking utilities working straight, you should not be able to price gouge. Like, these people are freezing to death, wrapping around in fucking bear fur and 10 blankets because your dumbass wants to chase profits. Like, you do not get to price gouge over that. Like, sorry, bro.
A crisis that revealed how the commodification of an essential service can leave thousands, if not millions, in dire circumstances, especially those in poor communities and communities of color. So the question of the transition to a zero-carbon world is as much one about politics as it is about technology. And one of the political battlegrounds will certainly be the power grid, because it could very well be a crucial vessel for a just ecological transition. The climate crisis is here now, crashing down the
thank you. Yeah, the arm. In regards to the arm. Yeah, it's a funny story. So I'm out of work until December. Basically what happened was I was driving, well, not driving technically, quote unquote. I was riding my scooter, my wicked awesome scooter that has my best interest in hearts because it always seems to hook me onto the sidewalk instead of into the street in front of oncoming traffic. So I love that about that thing. Thank you, scooter, for having my best interest at heart. Maybe try not to huck me off so often. But basically, it's not my first rodeo. I fell off before, and I ended up with some scarring on both my right and my left hand. But since I'm always like using my right arm by default to. What's wrong? What's wrong, babe? Babe, babe, What happened?
What?
What happened?
Look at this.
Oh. Oh. But since I the first time it led to scarring of my hands and my hands were bleeding pretty profusely. The second time I ended up bound to the sidewalk because I couldn't fucking stand up because every time I would, this arm would go into excruciating pain that was so severe it would force me back down to the ground. And it was just so unbearable. So I went to the hospital and found out that I actually hang on, wait right here. Um, so this is my X-ray, and the break is right where that circle is. It basically looks like almost like a bottle cap that hasn't been screwed onto that that fossil fuel dirt environmentally dirty bottle that holds all that Coca-Cola in it. Like, it looks like a really poorly screwed on bottle cap. But that is somewhere here in generally. Like, it's somewhere over here. Like, that's where it's located. So I can't work. Thank God. It's more of a vacation, even though it sucks and I'm not getting paid for it. Like, I really fucking hate my job. I need time off for it. Especially since it's an overnight shift. Like, I need to regain some of my life back.
Gruesome cold snaps.
But yeah, I'll be all right. I just need to not use my arm.
Base approach to electricity generation not only
What, babe?
I said, yeah, well, I'm over here physically falling apart.
Yeah. See, she's also struggling with some issues as well, and results in her having to go on FMLA as well. We're financially fucked. Well, babe, like I said, I'm gonna try to get on temporary disability so that it provides some cushioning. And if, God forbid, the worst comes to happen and you can't work, like, you need to go on FMLA. And just because I'm out of work, you doesn't mean you should deprive yourself of time to recover if worst comes to worst, and you know that. Let me get through this video, and then I'll close out the stream, and then we can spend time before you leave. Oh, then I'll try to wrap this up.
Prioritizes profits over the well-being of the poor and people of color, but it also slows down any form of transition away from fossil fuels and dirty emissions. This is why we need a power grid for the people. In the city of Chicago, energy bills are on the rise.
Sweetness says she hopes things get better for the both of us.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, me too, because, like, this is why I can't stand, like, the capitalist system, because it's like, okay, it is so hard to get ahead. If you're a poor person, even if you try to play the game that the wealthy play, like, it just takes too fucking long to get yourself out of out of the gutter in terms of poverty. The system is so fucking bad.
If you
And
think you can't beat the game, folks, then just don't play.
yeah, basically, like, I was on Social Security income, and I was doing, like, so much better in terms of, like, if I ended up with something like this, well, I always had a source of income. Well, I decided to get into the idea of working, and, well, now I no longer have my Social Security, and so now I no longer have a guaranteed income, so yay for that. Fuck
Projects and new technologies continue to push Chicagoans' monthly utility bill through the roof. A cost that's projected to reach as high as $650 a month by the winter of 2050. A trend that's reflected across the country, with energy prices surging 14.3% on average throughout the U.S. This price gouging has led to the immiseration of millions who are already struggling to pay ballooning housing and food costs. Heat and electricity are a human right. We can't leave their price and accessibility up to the chaos of the market, nor the whims of a corporate board of directors, however regulated they may be.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. What did he say again? Fuck.
Has led to the immiseration of millions who are already struggling to pay ballooning housing.
Yeah, ballooning housing and food costs. Like, I remember doing a stream about employee stock and versus worker co, and I explained part of the reason the system is flawed is because not everybody has a way out and a way to buy into their companies. And the only reason someone like me, who is, at the bottom with no inheritance and no family, no generational wealth, the only reason I'm able to do it is because at the moment our rent price is so fucking low. But here's the thing, we're the exception to the rule. We've been living into this house for 16 fucking years and our rent price is only $650 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Every time we try to look out there, the rent prices around here are like $1,100, fucking $1,200. Like, it's definitely better than Manhattan. So I don't want to say that things are like, like the market, like things here are more in line with what the market wants as opposed to living in the city. But what the market wants is too fucking much. You're psychotic. You're fucking psychotic. Landlords cry and bitch and moan about how they're like, oh, we have the tenants have too few rights, and the landlord doesn't have enough rights. What the fuck? You can literally kick us out if you don't like us, as long as you find something relating to the property. You're an unnecessary middleman just fucking seeking profits. Even if you're a mom and pop, I fucking hate you. You should not be able to own someone else's living arrangements. Like, that's not a thing. Housing should be decommodified. It should not be a fucking speculative investment. There's a reason why I don't buy into fucking real estate. There's a reason why, I keep all my shit in fucking crypto, bonds, and literally only the company I work for, and CDs. Because I do not believe in exploitative wealth. Like, if you have to step over people below you in order to get ahead, like you've already, like, you're literally, you lost morally. So.
And food costs. Heat and electricity are a human right. We can't leave their price and accessibility up to the chaos.
Cash is king, so as long as you're rich, I don't think a lot of people care if they lose morally.
Yeah, because people are just sick in the fucking head. Like, I don't like blood money. I don't like fucking blood money. I just don't. Like, blood money is for bloodthirsty lunatics. Like, sorry.
Of the market, nor the whims of a corporate board of directors, however regulated they may be. This, combined with the fact that for a livable future, we need utilities to generate, transmit, and distribute fossil fuel-free power as soon as possible. A power grid based on the needs of the planet and people is essential. Indeed, any transition to a zero-carbon world necessitates the electrification of almost everything and ensuring that electricity is emissions-free. Unfortunately, capitalist forces are making this transition.
Huh?
How come I can't hear that?
Oh, because it's playing through my headphones. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But if you watched,
No, it's fine.
well, I'm just watched through my phone, you would actually hear everything. The reason you can't hear it is because it would pick up through the microphone, which would then create an echo, and then it would sound like complete ass to the viewer. But anyway, I'm about to wrap it up here, so. Well, thank you for watching today's show, guys. If you enjoyed today's show, feel free to hit that like button, and thanks to my new followers. I just earned 2 followers for today's stream. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting the show. Feel free to join my Discord. Bye, Stalin. Did nothing wrong. See you on next stream. If you want to be there, but that's up to you. Feel free to join my Discord server. I do have that linked in my profile. Also, I do have my Patreon there, so if you want to support the show, it makes me less reliant on my job and less vulnerable to shit like this. So if you like what you see, feel free to support the show, and I guess there's a way to support me on Streamlabs, which I guess is cool. So that's, yeah. Always remember, like, the world sucks, but as long as you get out there and you, engage in some healthy activism, every 4 years you might engage in a little electoral politics to make sure we don't fall into fascism, and then every year in between, that's when you do all the real work to try to make sure that we pressure people into doing the right thing, try to push for better politicians, etc. Also, don't forget to register to vote. check with your local jurisdiction to make sure that your ballots that you meet the ballot submission due date if you're doing early voting, registration due date, whatever. And if you think you're registered to vote and the last you've checked was like 8 years ago, don't fucking delude yourself. There's a lot of states removing people from their voter rolls. Do check and make sure you're still registered, because you don't want to have a November surprise when you go to try to vote that day and realize that there's nothing for you. So don't delude yourself into thinking that just because you voted last election in 2022 or the election in 2020 that somehow like you're still registered. A lot of people have been purged, so make sure your shit's up to date. And with that, I do thank you for watching the show. So feel free to subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and hope you have a good day. Thank you. Bye. Oh, wait. That's send button. That's not the end show. But anyway, I'll stop it here. Then put some outro music. Mute my mic.